Hey guys, just finished putting the 1858 back together. I wanted to show you some things to look for to check action, make sure everything's exactly right after you reassemble it. If you have tapered your main spring to lighten your spring a little bit, you've got to make sure that it's tracking correctly. See that little roller on the hammer inside there? Right there. You want to make sure that that is tracking on the spring right in the middle of the spring. Now these are made with a little bit of slop here in the gap, and there is this screw here, but all that does is kind of wedge it. And if there's much gap there, what you can do is try and put some index card paper or some kind of paper or tape or something over the end of that when you force it in there, when you slide it in there, to keep it from being loose at all. But once you've got it in there, what you want to do is you want to tighten this little screw right here until the hammer completely, when the screw's loose, the hammer will look like this. And then as you tighten the screw, the hammer will go like this. And once the hammer can overcome the little pawl spring, there's a little spring in there on the arm, on the pawl that rotates the cylinder. Once that mainspring pressure overcomes the pawl hand spring pressure, that's the right tension. Somebody banging away out there. So now the thing you're looking for is, notice that the cylinder gate is up right now. Okay, the minute that you've pulled the hammer back about to the point where you can start engaging the half cock sear, the gate is down and you can rotate the cylinder. This is for loading purposes, okay, or whatever, okay. Then when you actually want to cock the gun, if you pull the hammer all the way back, that's your safest, best way to make sure your cylinder gate will always engage, because like I was pointing out, the little pawl hand wears. And if things like that wear, what can happen is that if you do a very light cock, I'll try and show you, I'll try and demonstrate it. Okay, now you're at half cock. Now if you just go back to right where the sear engages, just barely, you'll see that the gate pops up at the exact same time the sear starts to engage. Now, is it indexed? No, it's not. Now it is. Can you see that little tiny bit of lack of index is dangerous? It can shave lead off the side of your shot and spray lead out the sides, which is why you should never cover the cylinder with your hand with your shooting position. You can get lead spray on it, hurt yourself. So, what does that mean? That means that the little pawl hand in here is worn a bit and needs to be replaced. What should happen is that right when the sear engages is also when the cylinder should pop up. The cylinder gate. See how it didn't quite do it? If I do it slow like that, there's not enough inertia to get the cylinder to spin around. If I move my hand very slowly, unless I pull it back all the way to where it hits the frame, I'm not getting a positive gate engagement. As long as you always do that, it'll engage every single time. But this is a problem with guns like this that are made with less than perfect metals. As they wear, this is a 10-year-old gun. It shot 1,000 rounds or so. Once you see a problem like that, you see how the sear didn't engage. I didn't pull it back far enough for the sear to engage. But the cylinder gate popped up. So the timing's not right. Why is that? Well, there's a little tiny lug on the side I showed you, inside there. And that's what's pushing the cylinder gate thing around. And that has deformed. It's worn. So what this gun really needs is, this gun needs a new hammer, and it needs a new pawl, a new arm that rotates the cylinder. Okay, that's what it needs to really be 100%. It's still shootable because I know how this gun is. So if I always cock it very authoritatively, it'll always index. But if I were to just sort of barely get that thing to go in there, right now it's not indexed. Oh, it did index. Okay. The thing is that as parts wear, you've got to check, especially on guns like this, you've got to check the timing. And I'm just pointing this out to you guys, not because this gun is broken or this gun is unshootable or there's nothing that you know bad, but you can buy the parts to replace this. You can replace the hammer and you can replace the pawl and you can fit them and you can get the timing just the way you want again. Right now, it's just a little off. That's popping up a little early because of the worn lug on the hammer. See how it didn't index? The inertia of the cylinder continuing to spin is what makes that index. That's not good. You want the actual gun to index perfectly no matter how slowly you cock it. You know what I'm saying? So, just something to look out for, guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put my grips on. I put some linseed oil on them, and I put them out here in the sun. And they're not the most beautiful pieces of walnut in the world, are they? But I'm going to put them on and put this gun away, put it back in the safe. And it's nicely oiled up, outside and in, protect it from corrosion for long-term storage. And there you have it. It's a nice gun. You just got to know about these guns. These kind of guns can, you know, give you some trouble if you don't know about how they work, how the mechanisms work, and what parts are going to wear. So always inspect your firearms for wear when you're cleaning and lubricating them, and be sure to check the action for safe, you know, cycling. All right, guys, I hope that was interesting to you, man. It is hot as can be out there. It's like 95 degrees. Back in the air. All right, let's put the grips on this baby, man. It's a beautiful gun, isn't it? Yeah, these grips had a lot of stain and some varnish and all this other crap on them to try and make them look like something. But they really use some pretty crappy wood on these guns. You'll find that with the Rossies too. It looks good until if you ever have to sand it or refinish it, then you'll realize, oh wow, there's some crappy wood under that stain. It's very common with these. They have to find a way to save some money, guys. They can't hardly give you a gun like this for a couple $100, you know, without trying to save some money. Plus, the state that Italy's in right now, man, they need all the business they can get. Love the ergonomics of the 1858. I love the way this feels in my hand. I've owned a couple of Vaqueros. I've owned the large frames, and I've owned the small frames. And they're nice guns, they are, but there is something about this gun that I like overall. This is an extremely accurate gun, and it's actually held up very well, considering how many years it's been around and how long it's shot and everything. So no complaints. Just be aware of indexing issues with revolvers. Always check them, especially cheap revolvers. All right, guys. That's it. Thanks for watching.